we're just leaving Tesla headquarters, and we just dropped a random pin at Stanford or whatever. We can clear that though, and I don't know. We can again. I'll just whatever. AI end to end. Let's see how it does. Let's go. And here we're encountering some construction, and the car is just driving around the construction. So it has never seen this construction before. Well, it is near the headquarters, but this construction is relatively near. And it's lining exactly the right lane, but now it's going over to the right lane. Man, this is a long red. Well, the car is patiently waiting for the car light to change. Made a good left. It's kind of hard to tell maybe from the live stream, but the car is driving very smoothly. It's smooth right there. Entirely AI and cameras. Just like our brain works, which is neural nets and eyes. Yep, I just slow down for a speed bump, which is cool. I just slow down for another speed bump. And we did not program in, there's no line of code that says slow down for speed bumps. So it is doing this based entirely on video training. Yeah, and there's a bicyclist. Again, there is no line of code that says give clearance to bicyclists. It is just doing what people do. It can read science without ever being taught to read. Once again, there is no line of code that says stop at a stop sign or wait for another car. Or who came does not like wait X number of seconds. Nothing like that. Nothing. This is all nets, baby. Nothing but nets. Here we are at a roundabout. So roundabouts are obviously pretty complicated.
It's waiting for those two cars.
Yep, it just waited for those two cars to go, and then did the turn. Again, I'm being somewhat repetitive about this, but we have never programmed in the concept of a roundabout. We just showed a whole bunch of videos of roundabouts. So a lot.
A big fleet helps.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need a lot of training data a lot of video training data in order to make this work. So you need really billions of dollars of training hardware, and you need to know how to run the neural net training hardware. So it's not like easy, but the mind blowing thing is that there's no heuristics. There's no like lines of code. Like there's a guy on a scooter. It doesn't know what a scooter is. It doesn't know what paddles are. It's literally just been given a lot of video. And it's doing all of this on hardware 3 with about 100 watts of inference compute. So it's not like, obviously, it's not some like massive data center. And if we were offline, there would be no difference. This is locally, all the inference that's happening is local. It does not need an internet connection. And obviously that's necessary because if you lost your cellular internet connection, the car needs to drive safely. But we could be somewhere where there is no internet connection, and it's never seen the roads before. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we're running at the full frame rate, so it's taking 8 cameras at 36 frames per second. Yeah. The pure AI version runs faster than the version that is a mixture of normal software and AI. In fact, it would run it faster than 36 frames per second, except the cameras are currently only capable of 36 FPS. Our current, back of the envelope frame number is, we think it could probably run at 50 frames a second. So, but the reality for the roads are basically designed around 24 frames a second. Basically, it's similar to, I just forgot to go to our destination, so I'll just, pick a new destination here. There's like some sort of random place here. Yeah, we're in our somewhere. I'm like, hello, assassins. If you want to get me, now's your chance. You just need to be in Palo Alto. Like this, the assassin count is low in Palo Alto. So we're just, right. So we just dropped a sort of random thing. We don't know where we're going really. Just somewhere in Palo Alto.
Because it should generalize. The concept of driving is general. You don't need to like just do it in the US. You could do it everywhere simultaneously.
Right. Exactly. Just like a human, can go travel to a country they've never been to before and rent a car and drive around. It'd be, maybe not quite as good as someone local, but you can still rent a car in foreign country and drive around. And we just have like some students over there that one of them stumbled briefly into the road and the car drove around them. Lovely day in California. The beautiful Stanford campus, playing a little horse season. They changed the
Pretty soon we done also like instructions. So you could like lane change the lane. Pull over here or something like that. And the car should even respect those kinds of commands.
Yeah, exactly. So so here we're at a roundabout. The car is I've never been to this roundabout before, and the car is not specifically trained on this roundabout.
And then once it's our turn, this proceeds.
Yeah,
afterwards.
Exactly. So it waited for the correct amount of time, drove smoothly around the roundabout. Again, I will be somewhat repetitive, but there is no line of code that says this is a roundabout. There is nothing that says wait, X number of seconds, which is what we have in the explicit control stack. That's the sort of version 11. There's over 300,000 lines of C++ in the explicit control stack of version 11. And there's basically none of that in version 12.
Just because there's no lines of code doesn't mean that it's not controllable. It's still like quite controllable on what you want by just adding data. Now, the program with data instead of programming with code.
Yeah. Data curation. And then whenever we find that there's something, say if the card doesn't perform perfectly, we give it more examples of what it should do in that situation, and updates the weights, and then it works.
And also we have laborers cleaning and making sure the data that goes in is like the good drive, not like the bad drivers showing. Or bad drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very important. The quality of the data is very important. So, large amounts of mediocre data do not improve driving.
So it's quite the opposite, actually.
Yeah, with the words. So, that's why the data curation is actually quite difficult. And I should say that there is quite a bit of software around what data, so selecting what data to train the system with. So
the software that runs in the car is minimal, but the software in the back end to train is like much larger and much more sophisticated.
Exactly. So we do use like normal software for, C++ basically for Python for deciding what data to select from the fleet. And then figuring out, well, what is the high quality data versus the pretty good data.
Once we have a model, we also ship those models in shadow mode with cars, and every time it disagrees with what the user did.
Yeah, exactly.
Then get the data back, and then, kind of, that is more valuable than just collecting random.
Yeah, exactly. So, so we feel good about actually having a very rapid virtuous cycle, where when there is an intervention in the fleet, that with that intervention automatically being uploaded to training, being integrated with training, and then updating really just the weights. So it's not the binary that's changing, it's the weights, not the execution binary. It's just really for the weights. So I have not intervened once and the drive has been butter smooth. Again, being somewhat repetitive, repetitive about being repetitive, in fact. But we have not programmed in the concept of traffic lights. So there's not like, oh, this is a red light, this is a green light, and this is a traffic light position. We have that in the normal stack, but we do not have that in V12. This is just video training. Like I said, nothing but neural nets. And yet it knows which light applies to it. And it stops at a red light, accelerates at green light. Now, one of the sort of maybe slightly funny challenges we've had is that since the car is being trained on what humans do, humans almost never stop fully at a stop street. So when they get to a stop sign, humans actually almost never go to 0 miles an hour. They may think they did, but usually they're doing at least a few miles an hour at a stop, coming up to a stop street. Sometimes people go faster than that, but the regulators are they're really quite insistent that we go to come to a complete stop at stop signs. And when we looked at the data, only 5% of the time do humans actually stop fully.
Even lower than that. 0.5%.
0.5%? Wow. Okay. So basically, people almost never fully stop at stop signs. So we had to,
even if you look at those data, it's like a lot of them come to a stop and they get on their phone or something. It's not just regular people, regular stops.
Yeah. And they might like semi-stop and then move a little bit and that kind of thing. So we had to poll the fleet for rare examples that put less than 1% of the time where people actually come to a full stop, and artificially train the system to stop at stop signs at the insistence of the regulators. Like I said, it's a little slow because we're driving around in basically rush hour. Intervention. Sorry. Okay. That's our first intervention because the car should be going straight.
Yeah. So this model has small regression lights.
That's right. Okay. So, that's why we've not released to the public yet. So an intervention at this traffic light. That's the first intervention in the whole drive. Definitely. Yeah. So it just did a traffic merge, super smooth. So for that intervention that we just had, the solution is essentially to feed the network a bunch more video of traffic lights. So that was a controlled left controlled left turn, where there was a green light for the left turn, but not a green light to go straight. And so we'll feed it a bunch of video of the controlled left turns, and then it'll work.
With the shadow mode release, run this network in the background and check, for example, in this case, we would have wanted to go, but then the driver would not have gone. So we can just check it up. We can get the data back into the papers, and the papers say who was correct.
Yeah.
That helps. We should not have gone. So you don't have to even get the information, just massively observe what we want to do, and this is what happened and get it.
Right. So here we have another controlled left traffic intersection, although it's good with greens, so that's kind of an easy one. The smoothness of the control, the car, just how smoothly the car is behaving it's hard to convey, I think, on camera, but it's just super smooth. You have to feel it, really. So that's making a left. So it's gotten itself into the left turn lane. Again, we've never programmed in the notion of a turn lane or anything like that.
Or even a name.
We doesn't even know what we've never. There's no line that says there's no line of code about traffic lanes at all.
Internal to its mind, it might know this concept and will be think about it. Okay. But you just not explicitly ask for it.
Yeah. Just like humans. Yeah. We're arrived at this random pin.
Might try to pull over. Let's see if it does. Sometimes it does.
Yeah. So it kind of, so this is, so this is pretty cool. So the car just pulled over to the side of the road and,
And the passenger should get off.
yeah, and parked. So there would, it knows at the end of its destination based on the video that's received that at the end of the destination, you pull over to the side and park.
Yeah,
And
it also
so,
gets the exact pin location in relation to the navigation route. So just pin close is a good spot here. What's all here, but in big parking lots where there might not be any map,
yeah,
you should just go as close to the pin as possible.
right. Exactly.
Even without any router.
Yeah. And in fact, in so robotaxi world, it would actually just, probably perhaps know what you look like and just literally look for you.
Yeah. If you have a picture or something, you can just
Yeah,
look for it.
exactly. It's like if you sign up and it's like, just say, you don't have to, but if you want the car to literally find you, you just have to send it a picture of you and it will look for you and wait for you.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can also say, drop me off at the Starbucks.
Yeah.
You should drop me off at the building's entrance.
Yes.
Close to Starbucks as possible, as opposed to somewhere random.
Exactly. So I guess let's see. We'll probably head back to the HQ or head to the entering HQ. Doing a pretty good job of driving through Palo Alto, so for lovely.
And the speed is just, I think it's autumn.
Right. But is it going to stop? Yeah. Okay, good. Stopped at the red line.
Yeah. It was a late, so.
Yeah. Pretty much what a person would do. Seems like this. Yeah, there's no lane drifting. It's super smooth in the lane. And it doesn't confuse a bike lane with a real lane or anything like that. Yeah, the ride is super comfortable. As I see messages popping up, I'll try to answer them. That was a lot of messages, actually. Which way is that was like 600. That's got into the, so here we go. Headed to like Edgewood Drive. I don't know, we don't know if it's actually. So we are heading back to Tesla headquarters.
Our ship is with the pedestrians or something.
Maybe it's like have overly cautious about the pedestrian. Last couple passing by. We'll watch Bowman. I think that might be a little weird. Just walk past. Yeah, of course. The car is very, very polite with pedestrians. So it's stopped to wait for the couple to pass by, and now it's continuing to drive. So here we are in Palo Alto, driving on to Pure. It's headed back to Tesla Global Engineering Headquarters at Palo Alto. How does it react to low visibility conditions is one of the questions.
Yeah.
Like at night and stuff, or rain and spring.
Close down and then drives the doors or put an intersection and like cross. That's one of the areas that we're trying to, even more. Just doing it.
Yeah, and one of the reasons we definitely we need training from all around the world is that the weather in California is amazing, and it's the sun goes like basically never rains in California. It's like sunny and nice almost all the time.
And the drivers are pretty nice too.
Yeah, drive this year are quite polite.
It's aggressive drivers and also pedestrians.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like we need situations where like there's a parade or a crowded situation or where there's a lot of pedestrians for whatever reason.
You want to be safe, but also confident and be competent. We don't want to be too skittish and like hit the brakes all the time.
Yeah.
People's like,
Yeah, but so, it's winter basically in New Zealand, and so we have like this snowy conditions there that we can train in. That's a dry bicycle. It's a little tight. That's okay. Yeah, it is very conservative with bicyclists and pedestrians. Generally,
it's done away almost.
Yeah.
Just
done. Okay, so this is a tricky one. So this is turning left onto Middlefield in Palo Alto where visibility is great. So it's like
both sides.
you get cars coming from both sides at pretty high speeds. But did it. No problem. Great. So unprotected left onto a high-speed road, fairly high-speed road. No problem. Yeah, so V12 will be, I would say, actually Smart 7, ASS.
It done also called like we went someone almost because you want someone to be like so much. Like first someone else, okay, but someone else like so good that like
I thought actually Smart 7. It's like, don't you want some ASS? Of course you do.
Speed up is quite nice.
Yeah, exactly. But very, very intuitive, smooth, speed up and acceleration and turns.
Set speed is just set to some max.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it currently set to 85, but it's ignoring the set speed. It's driving at what would be intuitively the right speed for people to drive at.
It's a faster lane.
Exactly. So there's 2 lanes here. There's a lot more cars in that lane, fewer cars in this lane, and it's going straight. So it picked the lane with the fewest cars.
Default on the distance and the velocity.
Yep, exactly. There's no explicit distance that's programmed in for how close you should to be behind a car. It's just video trading. Yeah, just intuitively.
Speeds and
Right.
Points.
Like what would humans generally do? And it picks like a reasonable follow distance. Does that?
Nice thing is bad weather conditions, for example, it automatically increase the speed.
Or decreases speed bad.
Yeah. Increase the distance.
Yeah, distance, yeah.
Which like, takes a while.
But Tesla Global Engineering Headquarters in Palo Alto are the former Hewlett Packard headquarters.
In convoluted startups.
Yeah, exactly. It's an honor to be for our global engineering headquarters to be the kind of where the birthplace of Silicon Valley was. So we'll see how it does in the parking lot. So because parking lots are complicated, especially the Tesla parking lot, which is jam packed. So pretty full even on a Friday evening at 7:00 on Friday. Yeah, this is a fairly tricky flight. So you got 2, controlled lefts and 2 straight, basically 2 turn lanes and 2 straight lanes.
And sort of merge after this, which is also interesting. Like turn and merge.
Yeah, it's gonna turn and merge simultaneously, which is tricky. Real smooth mode. Now, one of the interesting things about sort of a pure AI driving is that it actually doesn't need a map at all. So we could delete the navigation system, simply give it a GPS point and say, get to this GPS point somehow. We're not going to tell you how. You could say like, you see that building in the distance, go there. And it would do that even with it might make some, go down a road that's a dead end and then have to reverse out. But you're basically able to do what a human can do. Where if you said, please go to, point at something and say, go there. So that's going into the parking lot. There is no explicit map of the parking lot. So now it is just trying to get to a GPS point.
Use superchargers.
Here? Yeah, that's how it got to the point. Yeah, that's it. All right. So that was the FSD 12 beta drive. Super smooth. One intervention, which we'll fix with a bit more training data. Otherwise, really, I would say if this was a river driver, pretty much apart from that one intervention, 5-star. So, all right. Thanks everyone for tuning in.